24 March 2015, Barcelona Airport, Spain. Germanwings Flight 9525 was preparing its return flight to Düsseldorf, Germany. The pilot in command was 34-year-old Captain Patrick Sondenheimer, who had 6,000 flight hours of flying experience and had experience of flying Airbus A320 for Germanwings, Lufthansa and Condor. The co-pilot was 27-year-old Andreas Lubitsch, who joined Germanwings in September 2013 and had 630 flight hours of experience. On board the flight, there were 6 crew members and 144 passengers. And the same crew had made the outbound flight, taking off from Düsseldorf at 6:01 a.m. and landing in Barcelona at 7:55 a.m. The takeoff from Barcelona took place at 9 a.m. from runway 07R, and the co-pilot was the person who was flying the plane. After the plane takeoff, the crew engaged autopilot and auto thrust while it was climbing. The flight was then in its cruising altitude of 38,000 feet after 27 minutes from takeoff. The flight crew was then in contact with the Marseille en route control center on 133.330 MHz frequency. At 9:30, the captain read back the air traffic controller's clearance, allowing him to fly direct to IRMAR point, which was the last communication between flight and the ATC. At 9:30:08, the captain told the co-pilot that he was leaving the cockpit and asked him to take over radio communications. When the captain went out from the cockpit, the selected altitude on the flight control unit changed in 1 second from 38,000 feet to 100 feet. Then the auto thrust changed to idle mode. The aeroplane started to descend and both engines' speed decreased. The speed management of flight changed from managed mode to selected mode. 1 second later, the selected target speed became 308 knots while the airplane's speed was 273 knots. The airplane's speed started to increase along with the airplane's descent rate to maximum 5,000 feet per minute. Then again, the selected speed decreased to 288 knots. Then over the following 13 seconds, the value of this target speed changed 6 times until it reached 302 knots. The aeroplane was then at an altitude of 30,000 feet in descent. When the controller noticed changes in altitude and speed of the plane, he asked to the crew about the cruise level they were cleared for, but there was no answer from the aircraft. The captain returned 3 minutes later at 10:34. He punched his access code on the keypad outside the cockpit, then hit the pound sign, but it said access denied. In that time, the aircraft was at an altitude of 25,100 feet and was descending. A CCTV camera transmitted the captain's image to a monitor screen inside the cockpit, but co-pilot did not react. Captain tried to make call more than 4 times from the cabin interphone, but co-pilot did not answer it. Captain and other crew members knocked the cockpit door. There was no response from the cockpit. Between 9:35:07 and 9:37:54, the Marseille Control Center tried to contact the flight crew 3 times on 121.500 MHz. and on 2 occasions on 127.180 MHz. But there was no response from the cockpit. Between 9:38:38 and 9:39:23, an air traffic controller from the French air defense system tried to contact flight crew on 3 occasions on 121.500 MHz. But there was no response. When the aircraft was close to mountains, cabin crew from outside tried to break the door, but it was not possible. The flight crew of another airplane also tried to contact to the cockpit, but there was no response. At 9:41:06, the aircraft crashed into the mountain, killing everyone on board. The investigation was done by the Bureau of Inquiry and Analysis for Civil Aviation Safety, France. According to the report, the collision with the ground was due to the deliberate and planned action of the co-pilot, who decided to commit suicide while alone in the cockpit. The process for medical certification of pilots, in particular self-reporting in case of decrease in medical fitness between 2 periodic table evaluations, did not succeed in preventing the co-pilot, who was experiencing mental disorder with psychotic symptoms, as well as the co-pilot was afraid of losing his ability to fly as a professional pilot if he had reported his decrease in medical fitness. This much for today. Please support us by liking the video and subscribing the channel. Thank you for watching.